much
Look like? Yes, we're gonna get into that in just a second.
So,
Are you interrupting me, girl?
huh?
Are you interrupting me? I'm gonna give you a whole spiel. I had a whole spiel.
Well, I'm just reminding you.
I just want to know where your tan shirt is today. I thought you were gonna wear that in.
Let me turn you up a little bit.
Turn it up. I think we're good. All right, guys. I am Chris, and we're Single Dad Homesteading. We are from the Northeast Tennessee Appalachian Mountains. We homestead on about 2 acres. And what we're going to talk about today is what is homesteading in a modern era. So Elin, I think, is going to have a seat. I think she's going to walk around in a minute and give out some stickers. And we're going to get everything started. We're going to get those stickers. We've got more, so if you don't get one, just come see me in a few minutes. And we'll do that. Come on. You go back and watch your movie after you're done. She's why y'all come out here and watch our videos and things of this nature. So before we get started, I want to say thank you to everybody who got this going. Table Full in the Woods, Broussard's, Four Blessings Homestead, Beagle Family Fun. Those guys are the ones that have put this on. Reap what you sow. Where's she at? She's not yelling at me, so I can't remember her. You got a bunch of channels in here in the house doing what they're supposed to do. And that's spreading a little bit of love in this homesteading community and trying to get us all to realize that we can raise our own food, we can gather our own food, and we can live healthily. So, a couple things I want to point out before we get into talking about homesteading are a couple of the tables that are here. You got Two Family Homestead over here in the corner. They're the ones with a very large dog. They've got a raffle going on for a Smudge lookalike. If you need starter chicks and chickens, they have some great starter chicks and chickens on their table back there. Daryl's the one with the lovely bolos, so he's a good one to ask, as well as the Bob's running all the sound and all the live stream stuff. They're great people to pick their brains if you have some technical questions, things of that nature. Can you turn this mic up a little bit? Everybody's saying they can't hear me. And I'm right up there, but I don't know. But anyway, it might be that my voice is on too. We've got the raffle going on the side. There's a bunch of beautiful things. Those will actually be being raffled off as soon as we're done. I think it's $1 a ticket back there. Also, if you didn't know, if you want food at the event, because this is considered a private party, you have to buy a ticket, and then you go out and you get your food. Go on, you go. You got free reign. There's enough people here to protect you. I would feel sorry for anyone trying to run away. I'd like to thank Kirsty for coming out and talking about the wild animals. That's something that's dear to my heart. I really enjoy going out into the woods. If it be hunting or fishing, and then going out and actually hunting those herbs, hunting those wild mushrooms, hunting those things that the good Lord placed here on this earth for us to do. So, my background, where am I at? That's what most people want to know first off. I grew up in the Appalachian Mountains, very country home. I can remember when we were kids. Most of the time we were hunting and fishing and spending time in my papa's garden. Okay, you want to sit down with these girls or you want to go watch your movie? This is why the channel is called Single Dad Homesteading. It's a constant. All right, she's getting back there. Okay, so that's where I grew up, was in those Northeast Tennessee Appalachian Mountains. And, we were very self-reliant. So when we start talking about homesteading and self-reliance or preparedness, whatever you want to call it, it's all in that same realm. It doesn't matter if all you eat is vegetables. It doesn't matter if you eat meat and you do these other things. Raising that food, raising your children, raising the community around you in a good, wholesome way is what homesteading, I think, today is about. And that's in your urban setting in a home with, a 20 by 20 lot in the backyard, and you've got potted plants out and a couple of chickens. They don't let you have roosters, and you're babysitting your hens because you can get away around the wall sometimes with that. You can get away with coming in and babysitting chickens from people because they can't say you can't have them because you're not owning them, you're babysitting them. So keep that in mind. I move a lot, so I'm going to walk around up here for all you vloggers. I'm very sorry that you're getting moving. So when we get into what is homesteading, I think it kind of, if I walked around this room, you would get a different idea and a different answer from everybody in here, but there would be a stream that runs right through the middle of it, and it would be that community and eating that good food and providing for yourself with what you know you're growing, how is it growing, and why is it growing. You would probably get a very similar answer from everybody in here. You know, we do lives. Vince's Gardens in the house over here at Fairy Tale Creations. They mod for me. That's mod squad. Grow Where Your Planet is out here. All these guys are on my lives on Wednesday night. I don't hide it. I'm a man of God. I talk about Jesus all the time. I'm sure I'm going to talk about him here in a few minutes more than I probably could or need to. I don't hide that. I don't think this community hides that from most people that are here. And that strength of growing that relationship is a big part for me in the homesteading aspect. It's allowing me to gain that knowledge from the past in every aspect of my life. To be able to go out here and grow the great tomatoes that Jess and Maya from Roots and Refuge sent me, to harvesting a deer and going out and knowing how to process that meat. Being able to raise my daughter that just ran off in here that I would probably not let run off in no southern crowds at all, in a godly way. Take that and put that in perspective. I'm not just going to talk today. I'm going to get you guys to ask questions and do stuff like that. My first event was the Shindig 2020. And I went there, and just the knowledge that was in that room was amazing. You walked in and you had Jess from Roots and Refuge, that's like the tomato queen. And everybody's running up to her, oh, Jess. And then you go out and you get up there and you see her and you meet her, and it's like, hey, what's going on? How you doing? You know, everybody is just us. Everybody is John and Terry. Everybody is Ed. We're all the exact same people. It doesn't matter how many subs that you have in front of your name. That's this homestead community that's here. So if you're not in that YouTube homesteading community and you're a local individual that's around here, try to fall into that. You're going to find that you have a lot of people that come from, both sides of the political aisle, that come from different religions, that come from different backgrounds, but all are doing the same thing and all are openly willing to share that with you and share that knowledge and share their seeds. I think I have about $2,000 worth of heirloom seeds right now. I think, well, I don't want to say that. I was going to say I'm catching, Todd and Terry, I was going to say I was catching up to Jess, but I don't know if that's possible. I think the only people that have more seeds than Jess, Roots and Refuge, maybe make it in my garden. This humidity that you guys have down here is killer. So show of hands, who is from this local area that's in the room right now? We got one over here, 2, 3. Okay. I think we got a lot more outside here walking up with the crafts and stuff. This would be an environment that I would come into and I would struggle. I mean, learning to grow, I'm in a 6A, 6B up on the mountain. And if I get 20 miles down off the mountain, I'm in a 7A, 7B. So it's two different worlds right where I live. But what's the zone here for growing? A 9. Oh my goodness. These Mississippi people too, I mean, wow. I think you can hang stuff in the air. It's hanging in the air and you grab enough moisture to grow. I just put a seed up with it sprouting in the air. To come out here would be a struggle for me, but you know what? I know if I moved out here tomorrow, that there's enough knowledge sitting in this room that I would be able to survive, because within a few weeks of the growing season, I would be able to gather that information that I would need to know from this community. And I keep going back to that thing of community, because that's what I think a modern homesteading mindset is not just that growing of the plant and the animal, but that growing of the community, the spirit, the individuals that are in the room coming together as a group. So when Brett and them decided that, hey, we've got somebody that wants to bring you down, will you come down and talk for us about what homesteading is? I kind of thought to myself, well, self, you're probably not the best person to go down and do this, but I have a passion for it. I have a passion for what we're doing here as a community in this room. You've got knowledge like Garden for Cheap. You've got the knowledge of Men's Garden Fairy Tale Creation, Kirsty Forges. You've got the Hive and the Homestead. You've got all these people that I've said it over and over and over just in this little bit of time I've been talking to you that you can steal this information from. You've got John and Terry. They've got a wealth of knowledge, not just within the homesteading, man. They got 8 kids total. John, what? You guys seen 5 of them running around here. Okay? It's Roots and Refuge. They have a total of 6. Is it 6 children they have total again? So we have these big communities, these great families that are there that our children get to make friends with. Because like Brett said earlier, we're not just leaving what we're doing for our children, we're leaving our children this Mother Earth, this place that we have. We're leaving our children's children this planet, and we're fixing it. So you hear the bad. We're destroying everything. We're doing all this crazy stuff. But everybody in this room is rebuilding it. We're all fixing the bees. We're growing the plants. We're pollinating the earth. We're going back and we're finding that stuff. We're growing healthy children. And people want to tear you down. I went 2 Thursdays ago. I show up to my home on that evening. I open my mailbox and there's a little card. I pull it out and I read it. It says, CPS, Child Protective Services. And I turn it over and it says, Mr. Prevett, can you contact myself or my supervisor? There's been an allegation on you. Now, for anybody that watches my channel that's met me, know that everything that I do for my daughter and for the Lord Jesus Christ, for my family. So I was like, wow. And I was mad. I was steaming. And I got to thinking about it, and I just kept going back and forth and back and forth. I've called them. There's nobody answering Friday. Nobody answers Saturday. Finally, Monday morning, I get a text message. Because where I live on the mountain, I have no cell service. I get text messaging through email. And I get a text message back, and it says, Mr. Prevett, there's been an allegation. We need to come up and talk to you. We need to have an interview. And I said, okay, come on up. I'm very intrigued. I want you to come see my beautiful mountain. So this lady shows up, and was supposed to be there 2, got there 3. She shows up the next Thursday. Now, it's been a week, so I wasn't real concerned. As anybody that's dealt with CPS understands, this is what CPS is usually doing when they're calling on you when you show up. They're sitting waiting for you. They're not away, they're not there. They're standing right there when you show up, and they're waiting on you. CPS, I know, has a very bad name, and a lot of people hate them. They have probably one of the hardest jobs on earth, because when they're dealing with children that are being hurt, children that are being killed, abused, physically, mentally, and sexually, I don't think I can do that job, guys. I really don't. So, back to the story. So, she comes up, she gets out of the car, I walk up, and I'm like, I'm Chris. She says, I'm, whatever her name was, I'm the supervisor for Northeast Tennessee. And I'm going, okay, they didn't just say agent, they said the supervisor. What did I do? She gets out, and I said, well, come on in. And she looks at me, and she looks at her partner, she looks at me, and she looks at her partner, and I said, what? She said, Mr. Prevett, people don't call us and ask us to come in their house. I said, well, I'm not everybody. Come on in, let's have a cup of coffee. So they walk into my house, and I said, before we talk, I said, let me show you a couple of things, because I think I know why you're here. And she says, okay. And I walked over to my faucet, and I turned the water on and put the water running for a few minutes. then I pushed it back to the hot setting and let it get steaming, and I turned it off. And I walked over to the propane stove, the big gas cook stove. It's really nice because I went to culinary school and I like to cook and eat. I lit it up and I started it up. I turned it off. Then I walked over to the lamp that I had got and I clicked it on and the light came on and boom. Electricity. And I pulled back the curtain and I followed the line up and I said, look, this is my solar system. This is my Yeti Gold Zero 400 solar pack system that runs every light in my house. And if I don't get any sunshine, I get about 104 hours for the lights. That's all the lights in my house. Up in this one small system for solar power. And I turned back around to her and I said, does that answer most of your questions? And they both start horse laughing. These ladies are laughing. And she goes, well, you answered most of the questions. She said, we got a few more that I have to read off this allegation. She said, but it's anonymous. So she reads off this thing. And Elin now, she has to be present for all this. So Elin's sitting over on the couch and she knows, she's talked. She doesn't know what the outcome is. Because she knows she's sitting on the couch. The lady reads off this complaint. We had a complaint. Chris is a wonderful father. His daughter Elin looks malnourished. And the lady goes, as she's reading, she looks at Elin, and I promise you guys, as the Lord is my witness, Elin goes, I look sick, with a little hand straight down her legs. And the lady just starts laughing again, and her partner starts laughing. She goes, no, sweetheart, you're perfectly healthy. She said, it also states that, you don't have electricity in your home. She said, but you just turned on the light. I said, yeah, it's called living off grid. And if you don't understand what living off grid means I don't have a bill. I don't pay $250 every month for electricity. I spend $50 every 3 months on a 100-pound tank of propane to run my hot water heater, to run my stove. I spent $680 for a small solar generator with a 100-watt panel that supplies my house with energy. I still have lights. We still have the computer. We still have the ability for Elin to watch TV. Limited. It's why she's glued to the laptop outside watching movies right now. Because she's like, what am I going to do this a whole lot? She's just like this, like I'm looking, hey, what's going on? So she's out there and she's enjoying that. So these ladies are really intrigued on why this homesteader, that's why we're going into this conversation. Why was this homesteader called on? It was because of ignorance. It's because of someone that watches and thinks that homesteaders, that people are preparing for a bad situation, that people are living off the grid, are out here sprawling behind a tree with a tent. And that's not what homesteading is. That's not what living off the grid is. It's a way to step it back. We as human beings have been living by a fire and gathering and hunting our food for a long time. We've been doing really good raising these kids. But now in a modern society where you can walk in and flip on a light, where you can walk in and throw something in a microwave and kick it to your children, and it causes them to go as a normal child to a giant child, a 10-year-old girl that looks like she's 25 years old.
Go sit with mama.
A 16-year-old boy that's 3 times as big as myself.
Where's Zeke?
Because of the hormone of the bad stuff that we're putting into our children.
No running.
What we're throwing into our children's body. But I'm abusing my child as a homesteader because I'm growing good food. I'm giving her a healthy lifestyle. She breathes fresh air every day. She eats some dirt, yes she does. We're playing outside constantly. And it puts us stress digging for arrowheads. Because we're teaching our children what plants can I go out and eat that are good for me. My daughter made a video the other day, she made plantain. And she said, this is plantain. And he asked me, he said, what's plantain? Well, she says, I can use it to heal stuff. I can put it on cuts and bruises. If I get into poison ivy, I know I can rub it on my arms so it takes the horns away so the little bumps don't come. Now, she can't give you as much knowledge as what Kirsten could, or what I could, but she has the knowledge to know that. I would not doubt if my daughter somehow got lost in the woods for the night, that when I found her the next morning, she probably would have had a meal. She might not eat like she was at home, but I think she would be able to get away with it pretty easily. I think she could probably get in the creek even and come up with some type of a protein meat substance. I don't know if she could start a fire right now. We've not went that far, so we're going there. But that's the homesteading. We're teaching a knowledge that's been lost, that we don't have the strings and hooks in most cases, that we have failed to learn. And I'm going to tell a story, another story that's not a CPS related story, but Brett asked me to share this with you. And I want you to listen. I want you to open your ears and pay attention to this story. I've spoken all over the country doing preparedness and doing traditional skills classes. I've been fortunate in the same year, the last Obama election, I spoke at the Republican Party convention, I spoke at the Democratic Party convention, and I spoke at the Tea Party convention. I'm not Republican, I'm not Democrat, I'm not Libertarian, I'm not a Tea Party member. I'm an American. I live here under his roof, and I'm going to vote for the best person that's there at the time that I'm given a choice to vote for. So I go and I do the speech, and we're talking about the American flag, we did through everything, and this guy rolls into the wheelchair with his grandson, and he says, "I love your speech. It's got this World War II veteran hat on." And I said, "Well, thanks, sir." I said, "I appreciate you being here." I said, "You know, were you in World War II?" And he said, "Yeah, absolutely." He said, "I'm 96 years old. Guys, I'm not making this story up. I promise you this happened." And I said, "Well, thanks for coming listening." He said, "Well," he said, "I love your speech, but you're wrong." Okay, sir, what am I wrong with that? He said, "You're wrong. The younger people in this country have not destroyed this country." I said, "They haven't." He said, "What do you mean?" He said, "The younger people in this country didn't destroy this country. My generation destroyed this country." And he heard me. He said, my generation, the greatest generation this country has ever seen, destroyed this country." Okay, I'm confused. I'm really confused at this point. I'm a veteran. I believe that these people are the strongest men that have ever walked in our country as today. He goes, "Well, let me explain myself." I said, please do." He said, "Look, I went and fought the greatest war. We did a wonderful thing. We fought for the freedoms that every person in this country had." He said, "But our wives went to work because they had to support our families and to support the men and women that were over the fight." He said, "Then it was over." He said, "We came home." He said, "We liked that money, so our wives stayed at work, and our children went to school for 4 or 5 hours a day, and they're in school for 10 hours a day. We had to have a car. We had to have a house in the city. We had to have a house in the country or a house at the beach." He said, "We had to have the dishwasher. We had our churches lose membership because we left our stores open on Sunday. So everybody was out doing other things." I'm going, okay, wait a minute. This guy's speaking some truth here. I've never thought about it this way. He said, "We changed our country at that time." He said, "We went from a point of where we were homesteading, we were providing our food, we were providing good quality children being brought up, to a society that wanted to leave everything to our children. We had to give them more than what we had. We didn't want them to have to work like we had to work, which are the things that built the structure and the foundation for the greatest nation in this world. We're all pulled out of underneath our feet as American people on that time period." And I was like, I got cold chills and goosebumps right now, because I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me, because no one's ever said that was from that time. In a later conversation, this guy was very highly dedicated and decorated individual in the 82nd Airborne. This guy had jumped into places, fought, killed, been shot at, lost buddies all around him his entire time there. And I'm going, this is really confusing to me. You're telling me that the people that are the most amazing people I've ever met caused all this after they just went and defended us for this. And I'm going, my mind was just blown. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't grasp it all the way. So I said, this is about 6 o'clock. I said, have you ate dinner yet? And he said, no. I said, let's go eat dinner. I said, let me buy you dinner. He says, okay, young man, me and my grandson are going to eat dinner. We went, and we just kept talking the same thing, and we won't go into too much more of the details on that. But when it came down to the end of it, it's because we lost that thread of what they did up until that time frame that you had. While they were fought, you had the front yard gardens. You planted food. We gave up metals and precious things that we needed to support the effort of these men fighting and dying for us. And then when they came back home, we shut them down. Everybody that was there at the time shut them down. Welfare started up. We had this conversation earlier with another individual. Welfare started up to help these military men and women coming back, to help them into a position to where they can acclimate back, starting in World War I actually. And we had these young 16 to 17-year-old men going off to fight for a country, coming back 4 or 5 years later, and they had no skills. They were farm boys. They were awesome men and women, but they were coming back and they didn't have a way to do it. So we gave control over here to the puppet master, and we let it go, and we lost our homesteads. We lost our farms. If you go to the Max Happy Homestead, if you go watch it and you look at their area, he talks about there's only 4 cattle farms left in his area. And all 4 of them are owned, or 3 of the 4 of them are owned by older men that have no children. So there's only going to be one soon. There'll only be one major cattle farm there because it's been taken over. But he says the saving grace to all that is this community. Because you have a lot of these small market gardeners, you have these small farms coming up, you have people sharing. I don't think I've paid for a vegetable in the last year and a half, 2 years, because I have friends that are saying, hey, the hive in the homestead here, here's your jar of honey. Have an Ed call up and say, hey, did you get these kinds of seeds? Oh man, I got 3 packs of them, I'll send you one. Or men's garden going, hey, did you know if you did this to a certain type of plant and you put a glass of Budweiser out in your tomatoes, that the slugs won't eat your tomatoes? And now she's a Slugweiser girl. So you have all this information that's being shared that was lost from the greatest generation that we've had because of what the actions and the inability to come back to that community. With good intentions, sometimes don't come the greatest results. We wanted to provide to my mother and father and my grandparents, their parents wanted to provide them more than what they had, and we really stole more than what we gave. You know, yes, I gave a little bit of money up, but I lost the farm. The homestead, what we're here trying to rebuild, what this community is trying to rebuild, is the homestead community. It's not just about your little piece of land. It's not about your pots that are on the back porch. It's about the children growing the knowledge and putting that back into our communities, to put that here, to let Jesus shine down on us. Now that's my personal belief. If you don't, that's fine. I defended the right for you to have whatever belief you got, and I give that to you. But don't take my right to believe the way I want to believe away from me. I can love you for whatever you've done. If you're a good person, you may choose to go out and drink and sin and party, but guess what? That's okay. I'm still going to talk to you like a human being. I'm still going to conversate with you like you're a human being. But when I decide to talk about what I'm doing, don't come beat me down. Don't hit me with the stick. Now, the homestead is late a little bit, I'm sorry, but I've got to do it. It's just me. You know, let's try to get along with everybody, and I know you hear that from a lot of other sides of things, but you got to get along on both sides. You can't beat me down because I choose to believe in X, Y, and Z because you believe in LGBT. You can't believe over here on this and expect me to respect your right to have that belief when you're not having the right and the compassion, respect to understand that I believe this. It doesn't mean we can't get along. Don't mean we can't be in the same place. This community right here will show you that there's nothing you can't bridge over. Nothing. I've met some of the most liberal people I've ever met in my life, and some of the most conservative people I've ever had in my life, and I watch them sit side by side, laugh, joke, and have a meal together and talk about the same thing. Because we both want the same thing. We want to be happy, we want to get there, we want to share that stuff. It's the process of how do we get there, and it's our society, fake news, and all that stuff you hear about, that changes what we do instead of common sense. Allowing us to gather like this in this church. This is a church right now. We have a gathering of people talking, sharing ideas, sharing conversations. Right now, I'm just talking. I do that pretty good sometimes. But you have a gathering of people sharing information. That's the church. Doesn't matter what kind of church it is, it's a church. We're sharing that information. We're going through that. And going back. I think that is what homesteading is that gathering of knowledge, that gathering of children running around and being crazy and having fun and sharing their experiences. These kids are learning as much as we are. As I go back to see that homestead. Who's got? Are you hurt? Oh, I'm just Okay, one. Stop it. All these people are recording this. You want to tell them about something? What are you going to tell them about? Okay. Just sit down. Go sit with this question. She'll tell you. Oh, you got good. I'm not kidding. All right, that's what this life is about. That's what my life is about, right there. But I sat and listened to a lot of these kids. John's kids are getting ready to build a beehive in a little bit. How many of you adults can do that? Well, you're out of this conversation. How many of you guys can do that? How many of you guys are taking the time to do what I just did? That wasn't planned. Stop. Slow down. Have a homesteading life. Elin, to you today. Enjoy them. They're only going to be this size for a little while. Teach them. Not just to read and write. Not just to count numbers. Teach them about plantain. Teach them about the tomatoes, the Dr. Ritchie's, the cucumbers, the clover, the pony's hoof. Go teach them about that. And if you don't know, take them with you when you learn. Because they're going to teach you. That's the homesteading way of life. It's not one teaching the other, it's everybody teaching each other. It's everybody getting together and talking and sharing and growing and thriving in a community. And that's why we're getting so much trouble. We'll go back to the CPS thing. There's eight, I think there may be one or two of them in this room, channels that have had CPS called on them because people don't like what we're doing. They don't like the fact that my kid may have a little more dirt on them than your kid does, but my kid's not had to go to the doctor in, a year and a half, 2 years because they're not sick because they have dirt on them. Now, they might break arms. They might fall off rafts. They might, hey, where's that roll call way out? But we have those things, but they learn. Elin can use a knife as well as any grown man can. Do I let her run around my yard with a knife? No. I get calls on her cooking videos. That's the fun part. I get her in her cooking. Have you ever considered getting an induction heat stove? Because she's around an open flame. Here, Lord, please bless me. We've been cooking on an open flame forever, guys. She's learning. When you get close to an open flame, what happens? It gets hot. You back away. It's called human nature. It's something we're all born with. Some of us with a little less common sense than others. But usually when it's a hot flame, unless there's something physically wrong with you, you're going to back away from it. Ely can tell you right now, if she comes back up here, I'll get her to do 3 safety rules about handling a firearm. I push in a lot of my videos, you don't have to like guns. You don't have to go buy a gun. You don't have to go own a gun. But you, I almost said a bad word, you darn well better know how to manipulate a firearm. Because when you go as a gun hater, I hate guns, I hate guns, I hate guns, I hate guns, and you walk into your buddy Ed's house that likes guns, and your kids are playing and you get along wonderfully, and your 3-year-old walks out because Ed made a mistake and left his firearm sitting on the table, and she walks out and she's 3, and she's got a gun in her hand, and I'm using Ed, he's smart, but she's got a gun in her hand that's loaded. What are you looking for? You're the adult, and now your child, you hate guns, there's no use for them. Well, it's allowed right now, and I have the right to have one, and that your child now has a loaded firearm. Okay, if you'll ask Miss Jen, I don't think she's here. If you'll ask Miss Jen, here, don't drink. Out there with you, Stacy. See, homesteading community. Sit like my kid off with Stacy. So they walk out. You better darn well know how to calmly address your child. It's going to be my child. Hey, sweetheart, how are you doing? Hey, hold still. Let me. Okay. And now I've got that firearm. Now I've never touched a gun before in my life. They're evil. They're not supposed to be here. What do I do with this loaded firearm that's in my hand? Well, I stick my finger in this trigger and pull this little thing back, or what do I do? And it's literally that, or I throw it and then it goes off because it's an old gun. You're not going to have that for modern guns. But you do something stupid with it. Instead of just simply knowing, keep your finger straight and off the trigger. Understand your backstop and what lies beyond it, and keep the weapon pointed in a safe direction. And always treat every firearm as though it was loaded. It's that simple. Straight finger, look where you're pointing, and treat them as they're loaded, because you don't know if they are or not. That's all you need to know. If you hate guns or you don't hate guns. Straight finger, look at where it's going, and keep it pointed in a safe place because it might be loaded. Done. We don't have to preach anymore to anybody. If you like guns or you don't like guns. I like guns, so Ely knows a little bit more than that, but I'll get calls on that. I get hate on death threats because Ely knows how to shoot a gun. Now, my daughter knows how to shoot a gun, but you hope that my daughter dies because she's shooting a gun. You guys think I'm joking if you don't produce content. You think I'm joking, but it happens every day. So, we'll get off of that subject. But understanding that community, that knowledge is the thread that's holding this community together. It's not just turning ground. It's not just making a beehive and providing honey and pollinators and a way to get the food to grow. It's not about raising the children by themselves. It's not about all that. It's the whole thing together. And for me, it's the children that are the seeds that's growing this community. Because I think if you went through here, every one of us, it could be a grandchild, it could be our own child, it could be whoever. That's why we're doing this. I mean, I guess some single people might not be not want kids, but I think long down the road, if you talk to them, that's what they're doing is to change that. Now, what time is it? I know we're doing a wrap around there, that's what you're doing. So it's 1:30 now, I made up minutes and still let it go. I would like to say thank you, special thank you to Ken back here, Big Old Family Fun. If you guys don't know, that's the reason I'm here. He's supposed to be in Houston, and they tricked me, and he's actually here, and y'all are going to get out here. So, but he's a good man. His channel is new. Check him out. He's served this country. He's serving his community now, and that's one of the things I'm gonna end this up on. If you're religious, if you're a person of God, if you're spiritual, I'm going to challenge you to go out to some place, take your family, take them in the ghetto, get shot. But go to your local little bar that has a really good hamburger and sit down in that local little bar and order a hamburger and a glass of milk like the old cowboys used to do. Have a conversation and don't whisper. Jesus. Don't do that. Sit down, enjoy your family, eat a great meal, talk. When that local guy that's going, what is that mom thinking? That dad buys kids food? And they come over and they say hi to you. Engage them, talk to them. Don't beat them with the Bible. Talk to them. Just conversation. And you'll be surprised at how many people you'll get and win over to a better side of life by doing that good act, by going out and being a good human being, and probably bring a little closer to the Lord. Because where did he go? The whorehouse, the bar, the gutter. He didn't go to the church on Sunday to get the people to come to the church. They were already in the church. We need people in the church to help keep us in line and help us remember and read the Word and practice the Word. But he was out here during the week in the bad places trying to find out who needs to come over to the good places. And if we take that, we wouldn't have any of the issues we have. And that's just common respect, courtesy, and kindness to one another. And that is what homesteading is about. Raise your kids, be kind, love one another, and talk. With that said, God bless, live with what God gives you, and we're out of here. Thank you, Brett.